Good morning. Thank you for joining me for today's stamping session. My name is Tracy Held. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Melbourne in Australia, and this is my regular Sunday morning stamping session. Today we're going to make a little 3D project, and you don't have a very good view of it from the top, but it's a little box that holds two of the mini treat boxes. That's maybe a better angle for you to see it. Now I got this, not this particular one, I got it as a swap at convention and I absolutely loved it, but unfortunately the person that gave it to me didn't put her name or any of her details on the swap, so I don't know who it came from or who I can credit for the design. And I can't show you the original because when I got home I deconstructed it so that I could figure out how to make it. It takes a little bit of concentration. There is one semi-difficult bit which you just need to get right, and hopefully I'm going to get it right, but I'll show you how to do it. It is quite easy. Let's show you the products that we're using. So we're using the Designer Treat Bundle, so that is the stamp set, and then the exciting bit is the dies. So you've got this big bit which will cut out your treat box. There's then extra little bits, so that does bat wings, that does bunny ears, that's little pointy ears. I don't have the antler, but there's a bit that cuts out antlers for reindeers. You've got two bows, a whole lot of numbers, circles, a tag, and then those little tags which are going to cut out that as well. So just to show you, that's one of the reindeer boxes, so that's the antlers that it's cut out. I've just stamped the face from the stamp set, or from the stamp in the design, stuck a red rhinestone on its nose, and we've got a cute little reindeer. And then that's one of the boxes where I've just stuck the bow on so that it just looks like a present. We could stick the for you on here as well, but I've just left it in. Yeah, this is retired DSP. I was just playing. But for today, we're going to be using just regular DSP. And I've just gone and forgotten the name of the DS. A Washing Beauty. That's what I'm going to use, a Washing Beauty. And let's assemble the boxes first. So I've cut them out. I've already assembled one just so that you don't need to watch me making two. I'm going to assemble one with you. They're really easy to assemble. Once you've cut them out, they've got all the score lines and everything on them. So all we're going to do is fold it down on those score lines. And I'm doing this one so that it's not Christmassy. I just think that this is nice for any occasion. Now with this little fold, I fold that back in the opposite direction, so the one with that sort of half circle on it. So this could be for anything. It doesn't have to be for Christmas. I know if you were using the bat wings, that's really good for Halloween, but obviously we're past that now. So once I've folded it all up, I'm just going to put a bit of glue on the tags, and you can, oh, that was a bit of a lot of glue there. Okay, let's get my fingers all sticky because I really don't want that much glue on there. And normally I do two at a time, but just to get rid of the glue, I'm going to put on all my tags. Rub my finger a little bit. Okay, right, now be careful because I'm working with extra sticky sides. We're just going to fold up the sides onto the tabs, hold it just for a few seconds so that that glue can actually adhere. Okay, and then if you haven't made a mess of it, put some glue on the other side and fold up. And I am oh so sticky at the moment. That was really clever. Sometimes that glue just comes whopping out. Alright, there's our little box. And what I have found is that when you close them, they don't always like to stay closed. You can give that a bit of a pull that it catches, but this one's working perfectly, of course. But I find often that keeps popping up. So my solution for that is if you just take a glue dot and pop it on there. If it doesn't decide to. Okay, I don't know what is going on this morning, but it appears that none of my glue actually likes me. There we go. So hi, and nice to have somebody from Australia joining me. Now you want to just, there's the other one that disappeared, just touch it a few times because we don't want it to be completely sticky. We want to get some of that stickiness off it so that we're going to be able to lift it up. If we don't do that and it's completely sticky, then it's going to stick the box closed, which is what we don't want. Right, so we can put those aside for the moment. And now we're going to make our little caddy. So I have a piece of cardstock, and that's more or less half a piece of cardstock. If you're using the letter cardstock, it's exactly your half a piece, so you're cutting it at 4 1/4 by 11. For us, using the metric, it's 10.5 by 28 centimeters. So I've cut it slightly shorter. And now we're going to score. And I'm going to go through this quite slowly just because I need to make sure I get it right. I did do a few wrong and had to make a few to figure them out when I was trying to work from the one I'd been given, so we don't want to mess it up. Gonna score at 7 centimeters, then 10.2, 17.2, okay, 20.4, 23.9, and 27 centimeters. Okay, and if you're working in inches, that's going to be 2 3/4, 4, 6 3/4, 8, 9 3/4, and 10 5/8. Then you're going to turn it, and I find it easier if I've got this very thin little score line towards me. It doesn't make any difference, but I'll just show you. I'm going to cut it just now, and it's easier for me if I've got it there. So we're going to score at 3.2 centimeters. Okay, so that's going to be 1 1/4. I'm then going to put my paper at 2 1/4, and I'm cutting here right up until that second last score line. Okay, and then I'm going to score just that tiny little bit on the end. And then we're going up to 3 1/4, and I'm scoring just to that second line because I'm going to cut all the rest of that out. So you can score all the way across, but I'm just not, because I'm not going to use that. Okay, so if we were working in inches, that was going to be 1 1/4, cutting it 2 1/4, and then scoring there at 3 1/4. Now we're going to cut. So first of all, I'm cutting out along that line where I've cut it now. If you wanted to, you could score and then cut all the way along there. I know myself that there's no way I'm going to cut that straight with the scissors. So not cutting that, but I am going to, that's why I just did it on my trimmer. The rest I can possibly cope with, so I'm going to just notch that and cut out all of this here. And we just want, we're going to have a tiny little tab over there, and then I'm going to do this all at once. So I'm cutting out that little tab, the first one and the second one, and I'm going to notch this one slightly as well. And then we're cutting up the tabs here, so I'm just putting a tiny little notch into the smaller ones, and I'm not notching the larger tabs along the bottom here. There we go. So if you've done that slowly and carefully, you're landing up with a thing that looks like that, which is quite a funny looking bit. And then I could have folded on my score lines before I cut, which maybe would have made a bit more sense, but that's okay. It works afterwards too. So just folding along those score lines. And that's going to fold down, so it's not quite going all the way to the edge here, but that's okay. Now, here's the bit where I said to you is a little bit complicated. Okay, so we're folding that back, but we want this bit to stick on the inside that side. So when I'm folding it, I don't want it to be sticking here, because then it's going to just make me a weird shaped thing which isn't going to work. So I actually want it to be sticking on the other side there, and then that's going to stick over. So that's the important bit. So fold that little tab down. You're going to put glue on it, and then we're folding it. So if you're counting your tab as 1, 2, 3, you're folding it on the third score line and sticking it that it's sticking onto the side that it's folded against. And then when I fold this bit over, I'm only putting glue on that first, it's not quite a square, but more squarish tab or piece or side, whatever we want to call it. Okay, so then it's going to fold out like that. and I'm going to put some glue on that little bit and fold and stick it down. So that's going to be our piece that we're going to grab to hold the box when we pick it up. The rest is easy, so we're just going to fold those 2 tabs down. I'm going to put a bit of glue on each of them. And here it doesn't really matter which is the back and which is the front. If you're fussy, that's where my join is, so that could be the back. So I'm going to fold that piece down onto there, put some glue onto the last one, and just fold and stick it down. And then you could use your bone folder, which I don't know where it is, so I'm just going to use just the edge of my glue just to give it a good press. And there is our little caddy. Now all we need is some designer series paper to decorate it. It's up to you what you do. So here obviously I've used the same paper to decorate my caddy and for the boxes. This time I decided that I could, but I'm going to use the reverse side of the paper is going to be showing on my box. So we're just going to put some glue onto those long bits, and I will put up all of these measurements as soon as I'm done here. So we're going to stick that on there, and the same on the other side. Try and get it kind of straight would be good. There we go. Now these boxes are little, so what I've done in mine is I found some of these Cadbury's Dairy Milk baubles that were on special the other day. So I got some of those, and these do fit. I couldn't fit 2 in, but one fits in loosely but comfortably, so you could have 2 baubles, 1 in each box. The one that I got at On Stage had a lint ball in it, so that will fit in. Here you can see we've been playing, trying to see what fits in. You can fit a Ferrero Rocher in. This one is quite a snug fit, but it will just fit. Okay, that's where you definitely want your, it is bulging the box a little bit, but it will still fit, so you can have your Ferrero in. And the last time I went to Costco, I wanted some Hershey's Nuggets, and they didn't have any. But I think that if you're in the States and you do like the Hershey's Nuggets, you can probably fit 2 nuggets in. Give that a try and let me know if those fit. Then we're going to stamp our sentiment. Some rich raspberry. You've got this little, I don't even know, edging, if we can call it that. So it just needs a tiny little piece of paper. And then this has got the For You. Again, you could put any sentiment that you like, as long as it's little and is going to fit on the front of the box. And there we go. I wasn't sure if I was going to get it straight while I'm trying to keep my head out of the camera, but that worked not too badly. Let's cut it out with one of these little die pieces. If you're multitasking here, you do get 3 of these in the pack, so you can just cut out 3 at a time. There's our cutout bit. All that we need is a dimensional on the back. And we can stick that onto the front. Last thing I want is some ribbon. I've tied this ribbon out of the crinkled seam binding ribbon. I'm leaving it white, but obviously if you wanted to, you could go and smoosh it into your ink pad or color it with your blends if you wanted it to be a pink or rich raspberry. Or what I like doing with that is, if I do color the ribbon, is to even leave it a bit mottled so that you've got the white peeping through. And we just want a glue dot on the back. Stick my ribbon onto my little box. This one I'll just have to get something in it when I'm finished. Okay. And then, but I feel like something's catching here. That may be stuck slightly crooked. It doesn't want to go in nicely, but, or it may be because I'm turning the box the wrong way. Why is it that things always work perfectly when you're doing it the first time or practicing, but something will happen on camera? So there we go. It does fit in, and there's our 2 little boxes all done and ready. And I just, oh no, I cut two pieces short. I should have stuck 2 pieces of the designer series paper onto the tab as well. So just looking at this, realized, oops, I stuck that short. So I'm going to go and do that. I will take a picture of the finished one to put up for you. It's going to be the same size as those ones, but I suppose you could leave it if you wanted to, but I like that tab decorated. So I'm going to go add that on. I will take a photo of the finished product for you to put up. But those are our little treat caddies. And I loved getting it at convention, so I'm sure that anybody that you decide to give it to would love it as well. Have a good week, and I will see you next week. Same time, same place. Until then, bye.